Hello and welcome back to this channel titled Popular Philosophy, where we will be continuing the discussion of the character of Socrates in Plato's dialogues. Before I even jump into that, I wanted to set here a reminder as to why this channel began in the first place and what issues it hopes to address for you all. The purpose of this channel is to think about the question, what is it to self? What is it to become enlightened? The first question I want to pose to you all, wherever you are, is what do you think it means to think? It's a strange question. It's extremely abstract. Think is actually not a popular task. In fact, thinking is antithetical to everything popular. And what I mean by this is when one thinks, one is not accepting what is given to them. Thinking is necessarily a process of negating or critiquing whatever is given. Think about it this way. When somebody tells you that something had occurred and that you should do XYZ, and you say, I'll think about it. What are you ultimately saying? You're ultimately saying, I need some time to discern what is true and what is not true. And so therefore, I will get back to you. If you do this enough times, especially with friends, they'll come to see you as someone who doesn't trust them, automatically putting you in a category that is less. That's only one example. Let's think about larger examples when it comes to grand concepts that order our society. And for that, we will return to one of Plato's dialogues, is one of his most famous, if not the most famous, the Republic. Now, in the Republic, Socrates and the stage on which they're standing is a banquet. And they are beginning to have a discussion about a question that has caused many people to go to war and for many people to die. That is the question of justice. The question is, what does it ultimately mean to be just? And in the beginning, when Socrates is discussing with his youthful friends and some of the banquet goers, someone proposes the idea that ultimately justice is essentially an appearance. It's a farce. Truly, what is really good is to appear to be just, but to actually be unjust. Now, within our own experience, I'm sure all of you, or maybe most of us, could say that we've experienced something like this, where the good are rewarded, the good are not rewarded, and those who are bad oftentimes take the whole pie. Socrates finds this claim to be extremely disturbing. And what he's going to do in this dialogue, Republic, is show you that those who only appear to be just are actually those who are the most unhappy. And those who are actually just, while they may have to undergo all types of abuses from the society, are actually the most happy because their soul is properly organized. But this returns us to the whole theme of thinking. And why is that? It is because when one thinks, one necessarily ignores the appearances. One wants to get behind the appearances. And the example that a lot of people cite in coming to understand this whole thing of thinking and how we can go about doing it for ourselves, we must begin to take a look at Book 7, Plato's Republic. We will not go into too deep of an analysis right now, but one of the first things that you have to understand about Book 7 of the Republic is that this is where the allegory of the cave is introduced. What is the allegory of the cave? Socrates asks us to imagine that from very young, we are basically fixed to a wall with chains around our legs and our necks. We are faced forward. And behind us, there is a wall that projects a light, projects shadows onto the wall in front of us. And when this is projected, we, amongst ourselves, begin to dispute with each other as to which appearance is more important, which appearance is going to do what. Why is this important? This is important ultimately because Socrates is beginning to set up for us a notion of the perceptive world or our experience as a world that's not really real. And why is it not really real? It's not really real because all of those things that are projected and seen through our vision are not permanent. The next time that we begin these videos, we'll begin to continue on with this theme of what is real and what is not. How do we come to know what we know? And how do we know for certainty that what we know is what we know? Within the discipline of philosophy, that is known as epistemology, and we will continue on that theme with the next video. Thank you all for joining. I look forward to giving you guys more content and for any questions that you may have. Take care.